Love Under Pressure, Broken, by Jorja McHenry. Chapter 1. Hey, it's Emma Murphy. As I'm sitting in my dorm room, halfway through writing my literature studies essay, I look at my desk clock and realize it's nearly midnight. I know I should go to bed because I have music classes in the morning, but I'm just so tied in to writing this essay about Pride and Prejudice that despite the late hour, I continue. I've read this book so many times, but it gets more intriguing every time I read about Mr. Darcy's love for Elizabeth. They are meant for each other, and it melts my heart knowing I found my Mr. Darcy too. His name is Will Nelson, and we have been together since we were in year 10 in high school. And even though we've had our ups and downs in our relationship, everything about it, all the memories we have made so far, have been the best. As I take off my reading glasses and close my laptop, I rub my eyes slowly and then glance over to my bedside table to the photo of Will and me. With my arms wrapped around his neck, his around my waist. We're smiling and laughing together at the entrance of Luna Park, and this both fills me with happiness and sadness. Since we were accepted into university, life's been a little difficult for both of us. He goes to the University of Sydney and studies engineering, and I go to the Sydney Conservatorium of Music. For the first 2 months of being here, I've been studying to get a bachelor's degree in music, and hopefully in 3 years, I'll be graduating and achieving my goal. I've worked so hard to get here, and when I received the letter saying I got into the Conservatorium, I was overjoyed, but also quite sad because then I found out Will didn't get in. But I guess that's how life goes sometimes. We are both avid musicians, but our paths started to differ from one another. As I get up out of my desk and slowly walk over to my bed, I bump into something on the floor. With tired eyes, I realize that it's my precious violin in its case. I bend over to pick it up and lay it on my bed and open it to make sure I didn't damage anything, as we musos can never be too careful. I've been playing violin since I was a young child, and now that I'm in uni, I realize I've been playing for such a long time. I love playing violin, as it's a beautiful instrument to play, but sometimes can be limiting in style. To combat this, I learned how to play acoustic guitar, which was influenced by my dad who passed away when I was 15. I also took upon electric guitar, bass guitar, and a little bit of piano, enough to get by, and I'm a vocalist when I need to be. But even though I play a wide range of instruments, playing violin is my true passion, and now I get to share that passion with others, and as I've taken on students, and I'm a member of the Sydney Symphony Orchestra. After zipping up my violin case, I carefully place it in a safe place by the door so I won't forget it for next rehearsal. It has happened to all of us at some point. At first, when rehearsal started, I drove, but now as everywhere I go is on a train, I take advantage of it. Saves me from having to get up too early and gives me a little extra time to plan a better breakfast than fast food. I have come to realization that I'm no longer able to eat anything I want without consequences. Life is perfect. Well, almost perfect. I just wish I could see Will more. The only time I see him now is when we have full orchestra rehearsals, and that isn't nearly often enough. He never has time for us anymore, and I feel like I'm not a priority for him. And I know he is very busy, but even when we organise a FaceTime call, he'll be at a house party and having the time of his life and hangs up accidentally and says he'll be call me back later, but he never does. I want to tell him I'm not happy with this and that some things need to change, but I'm scared to lose him. I want us to at least arrange a time for us each week to spend some quality time together, but there's a fear in my mind that he will reject me or even get mad at me for it. When we were in year 12, we were both so busy and we only saw each other once a week, and that was at our youth group every Friday night, but even then, we spent time with our friends and not each other. I never complained about it until a few months ago when he completely cut contact with me and didn't talk to me at all. This hurt me really so much. I lay back in bed and my mind starts to go over and over about all these issues and all I want is to sleep. I grabbed the toy llama that Will got me when he went overseas to South America a few years ago off the shelf and hold it tight. Since he gave it to me, I've always slept with it and it's the only thing that gets me to sleep. And soon enough, I feel my eyes becoming heavier and heavier. The next morning, as I'm on the train listening to one of our set pieces, I receive an incoming phone call from Will. I'm a little confused and I think, I'll see him at rehearsal, right? Hello? I say quietly into my earphone microphone. Emma, is that you? He asks. Who else would it be, silly? I say, laughing a little. I'm starting to become concerned. Has he lost his mind or memory? How could he not know who he's talking to? I'm sorry, I smashed my phone a few days ago and lost all my numbers, he pauses. I'm so happy to hear your voice, he says, and butterflies form in my stomach and I become overwhelmed with joy. My voice makes him happy? I wonder what seeing him will do. I'm happy to hear your voice too. Will you be at rehearsal this morning? I ask in excitement. Oh, shit, he says, and my heart sinks. I forgot. I'm so sorry, babe, he says. It's okay, I say, trying not to sound too upset. Let me make it up to you, he says softly, piquing my interest. How about you come over after you're done with rehearsal? Cuddles and a movie, perhaps? Yeah, sure, I'd love to. I'll text you when I'm leaving rehearsal, I say before hanging up. A smile spreads across my face and I'm filled with raw emotional energy. Will wants to see me and spend the day together, and it's been so long since that's happened. It has been weeks since our last real time together, and it always feels too short. This time it would be hours. A train arrives at my station, and it's only a short walk to rehearsal hall. I'm early as usual, but still someone beat me. And somehow, and some reason, this one guy always manages to beat me in. But it's alright since he's my best friend, and always has an ear out to listen to whatever I'm going through. Reid and I have known each other for what feels like forever, but really, we met at the same time I met Will. The three of us were so close until the day Will asked me out. Then Reid vanished. I guess he felt like a third wheel when we all hung out with each other, so I understand why he don't want to hang out with Sal anymore. Good morning, fellow string player, Reid shouts across to the other side of the hall, and I laugh. Same old Reid, always has a silly way of doing things, always makes me smile, especially when I need it most. And good morning to you, I shout as I run towards the stage. He stands up as I draw nearer and smiles his goofy smile. Maybe we shouldn't have shouted. It goes quite bad in here, he says, and we both giggle. I move to hug him and he leans in. We embrace and it feels like we hug for what feels like minutes but is actually moments. We quickly both take our seats and start setting up for rehearsal. We both tighten our bows and apply some rosin. We sit in separate sections because he plays the cello, but that doesn't stop me from chatting up before rehearsal begins. So how have you been? He asks with his same goofy smile. I've been alright these past few days, but things haven't been the best lately, I say, lowering my head when I think about my relationship. Even though he called this morning, Will hasn't been present for over 6 months and that cuts deep. What's up? Reid says, seeing my change in expression as I think. Well, Will and I haven't spent much time with each other since we started university, and I know it's hard with him being far away from me, but I feel like I don't even exist anymore, I say, and Reid's face turns to a look of concern. What do you mean you feel like you don't exist? He asks, and I sit forward, and I take a deep breath. Well, he's been kind of distant lately, and we haven't talked much at all. I'm trying my hardest to reach him, but it feels like he's just pushing me away. We're talking less and less, and we will always be interrupted by something that's more important, or he will say he's busy. I start to tear up, but I try to hold it in. Well, it sounds to me that Will is getting too comfortable in his new life and forgetting about you. If he rocks up today, I really suggest talking to him about how you're feeling and what you can do to change the things that so both of you feel good, Reid says, while setting up his sheet music. Reid is right. I'm tired of staying silent and not standing up for myself. Something has to change, and if that means me having to point out the issues, then I will. I really don't want this gap between Will and me to get bigger. I love Will, but even when we're apart, I'm trying to put in 100% of time and effort so we can both be happy, but relationships need both to work. It takes two to tango, and I can't hold this relationship together myself. The more I think about his effort, the angrier I get. But what if he doesn't listen? I ask. Reid sets down his instrument and sits down in the seat next to me and holds my hands in his. He looks at me in the eye and says with a firm voice, if he doesn't listen, and he thinks what he is doing to you is okay and doesn't even realize the pain he is putting you through, then you can't put yourself through a relationship where only one soldier is fighting on the battlefield. It's not fair on you to do all the work and let him get away with it. You have to stand up to him and tell him enough is enough. But, as much as I hate to admit it, try and see his point of view from his situation as well. He might be really stressed with assignments and his job and is trying to put an effort to spending time with you, but you can also see that he isn't when maybe he actually is. Just talk to him. Communication is the key to a relationship. Reid is right. I've been a bit caught up in the moment where I'm blaming everything on Will. We aren't in the high school anymore. We are adults with lives and jobs. Talking to him about everything before making assumptions is the best thing to do. Reid is right again. When did he become so wise? Throughout the next hour of rehearsal, I wonder what Will looks like. Has his physical appearance changed at all? I hope not. I love his soft dark brown hair that complements his blue eyes. I love how he has that perfect height for me to rest my head on his chest, and I fit perfectly into his arms. After rehearsal finishes, Reid and I pack up our things and we start to head out the hall to our cars. So where are you off to now? Do you have time for a quick coffee? Reid asks. Sorry, Will asked me to come over to his before he starts class at 2 p.m. I'll see you later, I say, and I make my way to my car to go to Will's apartment. As I make my way through the busy traffic, I begin to think about Will again. I wonder if he's changed much. Looks-wise, of course. Oh God, what if he has a mullet? Wait, what am I saying? He wouldn't do that to his soft dark chocolate hair. Did he get any piercings? Tattoos? Wait, what if he dyed his hair? Jesus Christ, Emma, you need to calm down. You're overreacting. I just hope he hasn't changed too much.